Paint Night Podcast is about getting to know the artist behind the painting. Our mission is to provide a platform where artists come together to create art and share their stories. Thank you for joining us and supporting the arts.
Live. Oh, live.
And now audio's on.
Should be out feed what it looks like.
That's the Instagram live backsig.
Yeah, a lot more people interact with the Instagram stuff, so we'll answer questions and stuff on there.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna check the YouTube and make sure it's sounding alright.
It's like 9 million things all at once.
Try to save my questions for the podcast, but I have a lot of questions.
If you have any, honestly, it's more of like we just sit, talk, and paint whatever that comes to our brain. Yeah.
It's like what we would do.
Mm-hmm.
It just
chill
with
up.
all the stuff. Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
It totally is.
With invisible people watching.
Yeah. Me put my arm in front of their view. Sorry.
I'm on YouTube and I was trying to look for the paint night thing and I was just typing YouTube on YouTube search and I'm like, you're on YouTube. Okay, we're live. Is that the right one?
Sound of water. This is pretty. Might have to go this way.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the water.
Nice. Whoosh. Sound effects. Sound effects intro.
The only sound effects I ever make are fart noises.
Oh, I forgot about those. It's been is that iconic? Very iconic.
I'm gonna raise the camera up a little bit more above. There we go. Yeah.
You just tell me what you want me to do, and I shall.
There we go. Okay.
Relax.
Now we're good.
I can try to
Have fun. That's the That's the same. I give all the time.
Yeah, buddy.
Adam France. Hey, buddy. Hope all is well. Looked like you got a lot of work done out at the festival last weekend.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Or is it? Yeah, I guess New Year's.
Were you just brushing the canvas?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it all.
Super loud.
Super loud. That's fine though. It's,
Okay.
And now I'm just hearing my voice again.
Thanks, man. Doing my best.
It's funny because YouTube has this thing where it will stall
Nuts.
a few seconds, so
Yeah.
I'm just hearing the past. Alright, I think that sounds good. Alrighty. Oh, hopefully I'm not too much in the way. Am I in the way?
No good. You?
Alright.
What you thinking about doing tonight, man?
I have no idea. I'm gonna see what just kind of pops out. Yeah. No plan.
Seems to be how I do mess.
Just trying to read into it. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll be on the same day.
Needs more blue. Where are they? Ew.
I threw a few of your images up on Instagram.
Yeah.
See people checking it out.
Oh, that's
Hopefully
cool.
it helps a little bit. So, what shop are you at now?
I am at no shop right now.
Ah,
Right now I'm in the process of trying to create my own little shop.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to manifest
Right on.
for a couple past months. Still in the process of trying to put it all together.
It's a long process.
Oh yeah. A lot of learning and bumps in the road and everything.
Uh-huh.
You know. So hopefully I'll get done by the end of this month. So
Nice, dude.
yeah.
Sticking around the town?
Yeah,
At least this
yeah.
area.
I'm gonna be on the south end of Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah. Got a little standalone building over there, just a small little spot.
Nice.
So
That's awesome, man.
yeah, man, just see what happens, you know.
Yeah. It's all an experiment,
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
exactly. Stepping stones.
Sure. Hey, Shannon.
Doing any traveling?
I am getting ready to head to Iowa Sunday. And then from Iowa, head down to Tempe. And then check out, actually put boots on the ground where I am now a fourth partner of our shop.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, interesting. Scary.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's total private shop, just lay low, pay rent, do the thing, and then, you know,
Where's this at again?
Tempe.
Tempe?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically Phoenix. That's always it's always weird when people go, oh, I'm from Dublin, or I'm from Tempe, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, so you're from the big city, just a city that was sucked or swallowed by the bigger city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like a college town. Pretty crazy. Never thought I'd be in this situation.
Yeah.
Always thought I'd be just a gypsy nomad forever. You know, which
I'm like, aren't you still kind of gonna be
Still,
that?
yeah,
You're doing
yeah.
like 3 weeks there and 3 weeks here.
yep.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So it'd just be a lot of miles, and I think I'll get a credit card that gives me points for stuff.
Right, right.
That's one way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see a lot of plane tickets in my future. But I'm really excited.
That's cool.
Awesome group of dudes.
Yeah.
I miss the hell out of that place. Miss those guys. But, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. Seems like you're always drawn to that area.
Yeah. Southwest, something about it, man.
It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
So how long have y'all known each other? Where have y'all
Wow.
met before?
We met
Good question.
Yeah. We've kind of like bounced around each other for a long time before we like officially kind of like, oh shit, we're in the same city.
Yeah.
We should hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so y'all knew each other from like media or like word of mouth?
From
other?
Hill City.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Convention.
Yeah, exactly. So, painting at a convention, saw him, and then I found out that, shit, he lives here. So I'm like, oh.
Gotta figure it out.
Mm-hmm. And how about yourself?
I actually met him because of a convention now.
Yeah?
Now that I think about it,
Yeah?
The Hill City one in Phoenix.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, he
that's
came
how
back. I
we
was
met,
working
yeah.
at Divinity,
Yeah.
where he was working at in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
And, I met him there. And then we hung out and we had like one paint night together. And that's kind of what we came up with this concept now. And things didn't end up working out there, so I ended up coming down here to kind of learn a little bit more
Oh,
and
shit.
see what's up.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
But I'm from Texas, so it's like I'm just
Oh.
doing this whole traveling journey. Or I'm just starting my traveling journey.
Yeah, she is.
I
She has
see.
started her path.
I see.
I have awoken, or chosen to follow my own path, I guess.
That's cool.
Yeah. Fucking frustrating, but it's great. It's great. It's great in its way. Much better though.
When it's frustrating, that's
It's
when you need to let it
entertaining
go.
as heck, yeah. At least,
Mhm.
like, if it's too easy, then I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I go crazy if it's too easy,
Mhm.
honestly. I can't stay in one place and just do that.
That's fair.
But I also like seeing things. I think I was always meant to be, like, that kind of traveler kind of person. Like, my dad was in the Navy and I lived in Italy for, like, 4 years when I was younger, so it's like, yeah, no, I need to see what else is out there other than just where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And I figured, fuck it, I'm young and dumb. I got no babies, so
Yeah,
I'm
go
just
with
gonna go
it.
do that.
Follow your own beat of your drum. Go for
Mhm.
it.
It's like it's now. But it's fun. I like it down here. It reminds me a lot about Boston a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot. I hear a lot about
It
that.
has kind of that same vibe.
That open-mindedness. Pretty accepting, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say, I don't know. It's like similar spirits, like they're brother and sister almost.
Oh, yeah, that-
Like I could see that.
Mhm.
They're different, definitely in their own ways, but the feeling is kind of like they're within the same family.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
It does.
But yeah, I grew up in Houston for 8 years. I freaking hated it. There's nothing really to do, but it's so big. It reminds me of Phoenix a little bit. But I feel like I also, because I've grown up there for so long, I just have like, what's that called? Where you have not a stigma, like where you're kind of biased against it a little bit, you know, because you've just been there for so long.
You
So
know
it's
too
like-
well.
Yeah.
Now you tattooing in Columbus?
I work at Cerro.
Okay.
With Matt and Ben and Miller. Well, then peeps. We actually just did a show with Miller the other day, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, Miller's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Was that last week? No, that was the week before that.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Glad I saw a little bit more of snow today. I feel like I know. I know. It's not.
Why did you have to say
Because I've been traveling and I would expect snow to be at, like last Christmas I was in Taos, New Mexico. And the year before that it snowed so heavily. It was
Mhm.
super cold. We had to have like snowboarding
Yeah,
like gear and
yeah.
stuff. And then the 2 weeks I was there for Christmas and New Year's, it was super sunny. and it was like, what the fuck? Okay, I guess I'm not gonna see snow this year. And then it snowed like maybe one day, and it lasted.
Oh yeah, man, they were quitting on us.
And then here it's like only snowed like 3 times, but I'm just like, everyone's like, oh, this is just ice rain, don't worry about it. And I'm like, this is a fucking miracle. Where I'm from. I don't know. I'm really infatuated with the snow and the cold in a weird way.
It's beautiful. I just don't. I can't do the cold.
Yeah, Toby's the same way.
Yeah.
He can't wait to get out of the cold.
Yeah. I've had my time in the cold.
Yeah.
I used to work out in it.
You worked out
Yeah.
in the cold?
Yeah, like I worked in worked construction.
That's right,
So
that's right.
like
Oh, yeah, huh.
I was outside all day long. And then when I was in martial arts, the sensei had it was his very first class that he was teaching, so he didn't really have like a studio per se. So he had a garage in the back of his house that was unheated and dirt floors, and
Wow.
he was just like, you do not wear socks and shoes. I don't care what time of year it is. So
That's
you know,
rough.
it was just like between that and then later on in life, like working out in the cold all day, every day for years was enough.
Yeah. That's about enough of experience on that end.
And that, I can appreciate the cold and the snow. I've had my fill. It's pretty from the inside of my house. I don't have to leave. I sure as shit don't have to drive in it.
Yeah.
Right. No, if it's cold, I say let it snow. Just let it. You know, I can't take the whole bare, cold, dead.
The gray and the
Yeah.
brown.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, and snow actually is a nice insulator.
Insulator?
Yeah.
Like it.
It insulates. Like if you get enough snow, it'll insulate your house, and
Really?
everything is super quiet.
Ooh.
Like, it's pretty neat. In the middle of the night, it's really quiet.
Yeah.
That sounds majestic as fuck.
Mhm.
I remember I was on the phone for like 4 or 5 hours trying to get the phone that I never was able to get, but it was snowing that day. And I was getting so freaking frustrated, and I was just sitting like right here near the door and just watching the snow fall, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, the snow moves in weird patterns, and like
Wow.
I started seeing geometry, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. But probably I was thinking about sitting outside, but I was also like, I also don't want a cold or to get sick. I just got here and everything, I've been sick and stuff, so I'm like,
Yeah, that's not fun.
not cool. The allergies were killing me. Trying to get used to them here. I just see the cat paw. Come on.
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
This is Inkwell. Hey.
Baby. Sweet boy, aren't you? Yes.
No, get over here.
Oh, she fine.
Don't jump on his lap. Move. Move, move. Go lay down. I wish cats listened.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cats are. They just do
Like, I
whatever the hell they
appreciate
want.
that they do their own thing, but
Yeah,
at the
right.
same time, there's
Right.
times where I'm just like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's why I love them.
Why can't you
because
not
they-
have your
yeah.
own mind?
I love them for that fact, but then at the same time, it's just you guys can be real assholes sometimes.
Safe. Fill it out.
Like, I heard it's possible
yeah.
that you can train them to do things. It's just it takes time, especially for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess that's with every pet thing, if you're trying to train something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
sit
Yeah.
down.
Hold
Interesting.
tight.
Hmm? Oh. Interesting. How do you see that? That's kind of.
That's cool. So you're gonna try to make sense of it.
Yeah, makes sense out of the chaos.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. So do you like just using whatever paints you can get a hold of, or do you have a specific
Like
palette
palette?
that you like using? Do
It's
you
a
use
good
acrylics?
question. I like it all, to be honest with you.
Yeah? Play with everything kind of deal?
Hmm. It's pretty much whatever I can utilize or whatever is in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of improvise in a sense. But ideally, probably acrylic would be
Yeah.
probably my go-to. I love oil for what it does.
And there's a butt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's always a butt with the oils.
Mhm.
But it's a nice butt. But yeah, at the same time, I like to sometimes put like color pencils or spray paint. Just really depends on what it is. But I like acrylics just for the fact that it's real quick. It dries quick.
Mm-hmm.
I can keep going.
Not have to wait for
Yeah,
layers,
exactly.
I say.
Exactly.
Hello. Spoiled for a baby. And what you painting over there, Toby, on the corner?
Cow.
Oh.
Well, it's actually a bison. Most people would say, oh, it's a buffalo. It's a bison.
So what does the bison represent?
The cow.
Or the... Got it. You're just obsessed with cows. It's fine.
So you have a story with your painting, because I see you got two.
It's the tarot deck.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm back on the tarot deck and trying to
Okay.
finish that all up. So this is like the Wheel of Fortune and Justice. Yeah,
In yourself.
Phoenix.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have her and turning into ashes and then have like these wings that are glowing-ish pattern. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Like these mountains kind of remind me of like the hill, like sunsets that I would see there. That's
Mhm.
like the most thing I remember from there. But I want to make it pinkish around there and then the sun
Yeah.
looks like the halo.
That's cool.
Maybe add some actual gold paint. Like that metallic-y gold
Mhm.
paint for the certain areas. Yeah, I'm
That's
excited.
cool.
Yeah, it's turning out good now. But I'm so strange with acrylics. I start putting down stuff and it's like
Mhm.
I hate it the first few drafts of like after working on it 5 hours, it's like no, nope, gotta change the whole
Right.
thing again.
I feel you.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with ladies and weird shit integrated with them. I think it's fun.
Mhm.
Figuring out more yet?
Kinda. I'm
Starting
stuck.
to see the vision.
I see one thing, but I can't see the rest. That's for sure. Just trying to figure out how it's all gonna be played out. 'Cause I don't
See
want to
either like a
focus.
magician or a woman holding a child.
I see. Yeah, I see a dude over here.
Yeah, I see a face there for sure.
Right. Like kind of looking up, but at the same time, I'm trying to. I feel like there's something,
Mhm.
you know. Yeah. So just playing, talking to his play.
I've been watching some video lectures by Jordan B. Peterson, and he's been talking about how artists have this way of interpreting the perspective or their dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like most of the time they don't even realize it. It's just something we do. And that's why each and every person has their own different way of doing things.
Yeah.
But also it's like the math that we can't explain. It's just like that. It's just our heads translating it.
Yeah, it's just interpretations of our souls, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's one thing he said too.
Our quest? Question mark? What do you mean by quest now?
Toby just talking to himself.
Yep. Well, to his mom. Oh shit, I forgot to set up my Instagram. The YouTube's up good.
Stardust, yes. We got Buddy Rua here painting.
Oh, he's a sweetie. Yeah. You're a good luck charm, aren't you? Look at you.
Yeah, she's something like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Although she hates traveling on the car for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nails a whole lot. I think I'm gonna give her Benadryl or something next time. 'Cause
Give her a couple roofies.
yeah, no big deal.
Just drug
Just
my
kidding.
cat.
It's really just, it's like after an hour, she'll start to settle down and she'll like crawl onto my lap and just
Cosby.
sleep.
I don't know what you do with your animals. That's what I do. You know.
They just don't take them anywhere.
right. They just stay indoors. I mean, you know.
They're not going anywhere on my ass.
They're going on the trip, that's for sure. So how long have you guys painted for?
Like the one we're on now?
No, I mean as in life, I
In
guess.
life.
Yeah. When did you guys start?
We started, what, a couple days after we met?
Right.
And just had that one time in Phoenix, and then she came up here.
Right.
So, yeah. Oh.
Well, I guess I should
So like
A little bit more.
you mean like
As in
In
life,
life?
as in
how
Yeah.
often a week?
When
no,
you
I
start
mean, like
painting,
when you start
painting.
painting. Like,
Ah,
like-
gotcha.
Sorry,
Gotcha.
should have been more clear on that.
I'm
I'm trying to figure out what I'm saying.
I started
Came out in the womb with a brush and a beret.
always messed around, but like I didn't get serious until I was 20.
Yeah. Okay.
I started around middle school.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took like every art class I could as soon as electives were available. Teacher was like, start painting. That's also when I got into anime, so I was obsessed with that.
Anime.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love some anime for sure.
When did you start now?
I started about the same time. I think I was about 24ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. 24ish.
I know you've always been kind of into all kinds of things, kind of like me. You
Yeah.
have your certain loves of art form.
Yeah. And it started with cartoons, honestly. Like I
Really?
love some.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love some anime for sure. And well, I was that kid that didn't pay attention in school and doodle. Yeah.
Like on the paperwork.
Yeah.
I always had teachers be like, "This is cool," like in the note beside it, but
Yeah.
quit drawing on your work. And I'm like,
Stop drawing all these eyeballs on the page. I'm sorry.
it's freaking me out.
Right. I'm sorry. You didn't answer the question. But yeah, that's what happened. You have your friends and you just
That's a
drew
note.
anime, Dragon Ball Z characters, whatnotness,
Heck yeah, naturally.
And it just kind of, I don't know, just morphed into its own thing.
Did you know art was your thing? Like that's something you wanted to pursue a bit more than other things?
Yeah, it took me a while because I didn't know who I was back then,
Right.
But yeah, that was always kind of my thing too, As
Mhm.
family always, Christmas, here's some colored pencils and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
So they always kind of pushed it on me, which I'm really grateful for.
For sure.
So
I felt like my family was like always like that for a bit. They'll get me supplies and stuff when I was
Mhm.
younger. And then when I was getting older, they were a little worried that I was still doing art. And they're like, oh.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. I do have that when a doll was, you're not gonna make no money, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah. I know, I stressed my mom out when I was like, yeah, I want to be a manga artist. And she was like, be a nurse or something.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't blame her. Honestly, my kid, or if I had a kid that was like, yeah, I want to be an anime artist. That is like the oddest thing to be in America. So,
Mm-hmm.
That's when you move.
Just leave the house.
right? Japan, here I come. Man, maybe one reality of me actually went and did that. That would have been awesome. Hell, it could still be me. We'll see.
You're not dead yet.
Nope, I'm not. I can still breathe. Still doing my thing. Wouldn't be the craziest thing I've done. Trying to get this. Let's see. How do you know when you're done with a painting? You just get to a point where it's like, if I touch this anymore, I may mess up.
Yeah. Or I'm
just
gonna
need
lose
to let
it.
it go.
Yeah, just gonna lose it. Just yeah, because I get OCD with paintings. You know. I mean, it's honestly, it's never done.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you just have to like force yourself to just. I gotta stop. I got it. That's it. I'm happy where it is, and because there's so many other ideas that you always want to do and keep going with.
But sometimes you just gotta leave it.
Yeah, you just gotta.
Not enough time.
Yeah. And then you see a line in the background, you're like, oh, you know what I could do right there. But you just gotta leave it alone.
That's
It's
right.
already-
Once it's signed, it's done.
Right.
Like, sign it, I'm done.
Right.
Well, when friends are like, hello there, I'm using the internet. Good for you. I know. My one art teacher was always like, it's never done till it's due. And when you're sick of it, you can't do it anymore.
Mm.
It's definitely that. There's also the opposite of it, where it's you have to create certain times when you feel like you're compulsed to just like, I have to make something, I have to make this. It's in my head, I need to get it out now.
Yeah. I feel like paintings and drawings can definitely reflect the kind of person you are at that time,
Mm-hmm.
where you are in your life, and what kind of stuff you're interested in.
I think it's a sort of exorcism. It's a release.
Exorcism? Oh, okay. A release? I could see that.
Yeah. I'll see you.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's definitely an outlet for sure.
And how much for the beautiful piece before it's done? And I am not sure. I'd have to finish it and see how much I would like to sell it for. And then what's the kitty's name? Her name's Inkwell. She's a little rascal, like her mom. Seeing an arm.
Right, I got an arm. That's all I'm kind of like stuck with. Like, I got an arm. Where do I go? I got an arm and a face. And I'm trying to strap here with the hand.
Inkwell, dope name. Thank you. I thought so. Although I thought she was going to be a black kitten when I got her. And then she started sprouting patches of white. And she has mittens and
Thank you very much.
a little bit of color to her. But she's
Yeah.
super cool. I found out that the calico is actually kind of a lucky cat. Alright, come on. Have fun.
Don't know what I'm doing.
You're in the right place.
We're all just little kids pretending to be adults. It's fine.
So what inspired you guys to do the podcast?
I've been really into like listening to podcasts and stuff like that. And it's just been like a big deal. And then when she came up, we were kind of sitting around just kicking around ideas. And I was like, hey, you got a webcam, why don't we just paint on YouTube? You know? And it just kind of exploded into, we'll just get a GoPro and we'll get another webcam and we'll get lights and holy shit, we'll just turn one room into a studio.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah, I feel like we got it more down now too. At the beginning we were doing it in the living room and trying to rig it in a way. Now it's a little easier. Remember, we were only using like one camera for a while, and then we used the camera to the laptop then.
Yeah.
Now we have two and lights and a nice area and space.
So how many podcasts have you had so far then?
I have not counted. Last I counted, we had like 12.
Yeah.
I think it's more like 15 or 16 right now.
Sounds about right.
I might be wrong.
We were doing them once a week there for a minute, and then we
really?
now
they
we're doing
kicked
it
up.
twice.
Like my days off are Wednesdays and Sundays, so it just turned into, I'm gonna paint anyhow. Usually I'm painting all day anyhow, but let's do this.
Right.
I think it's kind of cool that, because a lot of podcasts, it's not really with faces or anything. So now it's like with artists, I feel like we can talk and interview while we're doing our craft. I'm trying to translate some things with art. I think the visual people will appreciate that a lot more.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I think I get you on that one for sure. Because I'm definitely a better talker when I'm just working on something.
Like zoning on
something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. And then plus, I think for me, I really just wanted to paint around other artists and like see what they're doing and like see how people do their different ways of techniques and ask some questions while they're there. Try to pick the brain a little bit. And then also like I'm a visual learner too. Like I've taught myself how to do like a lot of things by just watching people.
Right.
Not necessarily like asking questions. Well, I'll ask questions when I come up with them, but most of the time I don't know what to ask, so I just kind of watch and observe how people do certain things, and then I just pick up on it that way better.
I always had an idea when I worked at Divinity. We had a huge area in the back in the shop. That's where I painted. So if I didn't have appointments or in between appointments, I'd sit there and paint, and we would have some of the best conversations. Kind of like what we do at Hell City.
Right.
You know, we always sat around and we just have a good time. And we always had paint nights around here, you know. And I was sitting at Divinity, and one day I got the idea. You know, it'd be really cool to record this stuff and sell it with the painting. Be like, you want to know what went on, like the conversations that were happening, like while your painting was being done. Like that might be worth more money than the painting itself.
Yeah.
True, that's more interaction to it too. I find, especially nowadays with like Instagram and trying to learn all that ish, which is stupid but kind of cool. But people like seeing a little bit more behind it, and especially now that we're in the digital age of like recording everything.
Mm-hmm.
People love time lapses and stuff too.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting into the whole digital thing.
Yeah.
You know, at first I wasn't like, I don't know how I feel about it, but now I can see it as you can.
It's a tool.
Yeah, you can help people with it. You know, you can show people things.
I was having coffee with my friend this morning, and we were kind of talking about it. She's frustrated that she's not really a social media person because, like, she went with a month without Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
And she's like, And I was like, how was it? And she's like, it was the best month of my life. Like,
Right.
not having to worry about any of that. But she's like, but her husband was telling her about how, like, Instagram and all that is just tools. And it's like, you don't always carry a hammer. You use it when you need it, but you always set it down when you don't. Like, you don't just carry it around all the time. And so...
People aren't that way nowadays.
Right.
No. I think there needs to be
yeah.
like a healthy dose, or like people need to be taught how to have healthy doses of it. But
Right. So I don't.
Yeah. Good luck.
Right, it's because I think what was turning me off, I just see how people were using it, and it was just
Yeah.
kind of, you know, like I really don't want to. Some things should be private. Some things are for your own experience. I mean, I really don't care what you eat, you know.
Yeah.
To say it like that, but yeah, but at the same time, you can, like what you guys are doing right now, you know, kind of inspire people and stuff like that with it. So.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot more lectures and stuff. Like, it's cool because I like listening to things and trying to learn things at the same time while I'm doing like painting or drawing for tattoos or doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's very useful. Or even just hearing conversations between people. I think there's like a slight connection with that people are longing for. But yeah, then there's like the people that kind of abuse it a little bit.
Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I can't even get on Facebook anymore. I would
Right.
get stuck on those surveys. I'm so bad with that. I try not to look at feeds anymore as much. I'll go through and like the first few, but
You know, for me, I mean, I don't know. It gets me depressed sometimes. I can't.
Yeah?
I have to always turn it off. You know, just because
Mhm.
it's just like, oh my god.
now do you get depressed because of like comparing or like
I think
a
so.
little bit of that?
Yeah, I think so. And I'll be straight up honest. You know, I think so. It's just like, oh shit, I should be doing more. I should be doing. Oh my god. You know, just
Yeah.
like you're always just seeing more and more, and just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I could see that
You
being
know.
an easy gateway of like comparing yourself to a lot of
Yeah.
like what other people are doing, but then the reality is most of those people,
Right.
it's like they're not as happy as they're
Yeah.
seeming on their
They're just
own
a show.
things.
Yeah,
It's just a
you're
show.
only seeing what they want you to
Right.
see.
Yeah, because we
That's-
can like
you
Photoshop
forget.
and fix and like make ourselves look good, take 1,000 pictures, and then post the one good one.
Right. Spin in the bathroom, take 500 pictures of one face.
Yeah,
I got you.
that's what Kim Kardashian does apparently, and all that fun jazz. I remember watching it. I was like, damn. Yeah,
Oh,
no, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know
Those
a few. I
ones,
know a
yeah.
few. For
For
sure.
sure.
Like, personally.
I know more than a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, whatever floats your boat. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
You know. Can't judge.
Yep.
I get it in this day and age, and especially like the people that grow up with it. Like, I didn't have cell phone. You know what I mean? Like I was way into my 20s before I got first cell phone. Like there's kids that are 2 years, 3 years old, and they have a cell phone. You know, so
Right.
that's just what they see. That's what they're surrounded by all the time. And it's weird to them. They're like, "What do you mean you don't have a phone?" You know what I mean?
It's like a status thing now because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
so available for everybody nowadays.
Well, like think about like when I grew up, I was like, "What do you mean you don't have a color TV? That's fucking what?" You know,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
weird
That's
to
fair.
you.
Yeah.
But like, my dad didn't. You know, he grew up there wasn't even TV. You know what I mean?
Right. Actually, so my sister that was just born, Nala, she's 2 right now. But my mom was telling me about how she's like, she knows how to get exactly where she wants to get on like YouTube and Netflix and all this other stuff. She knows exactly what button to press. She knows how to skip ads, and she knows like how to go to the exact video she needs to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, my mom's like super amazed by the fact that she knows all her colors and numbers, and like people, like if someone shouted out like 4, she'll go like 5. Like we'll be able to like connect exactly where she wants to go. And so my mom's like, this one's gonna be super smart, and I'm like, yeah, she's probably gonna be the most trouble too, but
Mm-hmm. I guess it's just what you do with it.
oh yeah, for sure. And it's interesting. I'm like excited to see where it goes, but I definitely think there's going to be a pushback for, and I think it's kind of happening now. Like people are starting to actually see the studies and what's going on with the brain and how people are doing with all these social media outlets. I'm quite intrigued. And now it's like we have photo evidence of everything too. Or video evidence of everything.
Yeah, I'm like that was my thing when I was a teenager. Just
Tell me more.
I'll tell you all the stories. I don't care. Stories are fun. Like
Yeah.
most of the stories when I was a teenager, I'm pretty sure most of them, like the statute of limitations has run out. So, you know, I'll tell you all that dumb shit we used to do. I'm pretty sure everybody already knows. That's a whole different ballgame when you have fucking video evidence, you know, of some kid doing something stupid that I'm sure we've all done.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And they get fucking hemmed up for it.
Yeah.
It's like all these like YouTube stars or whatever are getting busted with the exotic cars and shit. They're getting busted for driving, you know, breaking the law, like speeding and stuff, because they're showing it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So they just put in, oh, well, where your car's registered and this and that, and they're like nailing them, like left and right. People are getting like crazy summons to go to
Oh, that's crazy.
like, court and shit for reckless operation of motor vehicle or street racing. You know,
Yeah.
they show them street racing, and then they'll get a fucking summons. It's fucking nuts.
And it's crazy because it's like everyone's first instinct when something like one of those videos when things are going down in some sort of way, whether it's someone like acting up or doing something weird or like something out of the ordinary, there's always someone that's going to record it. Like the first like automatic instinct is to bring out your phone and start recording stuff.
Well, I mean, shit, just in general, even if they're at a concert or anything, people
Yeah.
live through
Oh,
their
It's
screens.
so annoying.
That's so
Yeah, I'm like, just fucking enjoy it.
Oh,
Live
yeah.
in the moment.
I've
Oh,
like
right.
I would
Just-
take like
just-
30-second
experience,
videos of like just to
Yeah.
remember how the place looks
Yeah.
like, and then I'll like drop it because
Right.
like I can't pay attention when the phone's up. Like I really want to like experience what the heck's going on.
Yeah. Last concert I realized, and I don't go to concerts a lot.
Which
but,
one did you go to?
I went to go see, it was random. I was like, fuck yeah, let's just go. But
Why
it
not?
was, Damian Marley was downtown.
Okay.
So I went ahead and went, you know. And I was so disappointed because everybody was just like
Living through their phone.
watching it through the phones. I was like, it's right in front of you. What are you doing?
Yeah, why
It's
would
right
you want
there.
to? I remember like being a kid watching TV or watching like a whatever, like a concert on TV, going, man, I wish I was there.
Right.
And now people are there and they're like, ooh, I wish I was watching it through my screen.
Right.
So weird.
Well, I also think it's maybe like that status kind of thing because you want to share with your friends what you're doing, and everyone's like very much up in their business, in each other's business now. Especially with like Snapchat and Twitter with such instant, weird, memorable stories. Well, now Instagram does that too with stories and
I
such.
mean, we're doing it right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To a certain degree.
we are.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm
But
not
I think that's
holding it
just
in my
kind of
hand,
the
like,
human
painting through my
experience.
screen. Fuck.
That would suck.
I'm gonna start doing that. That's my new thing. I'm just gonna start painting. I can't paint unless I have a screen in front of me.
I need it all the way bright.
Right.
That's funny.
I'm painting for Instagram.
Hey, it wouldn't be bad if you got paid for it and stuff. If just sit in front of a camera and just paint and do your thing, that'd be kind of cool.
No, I was thinking more of like in the way that like you're using your filters and you're painting this way, and they're like, I'm
Oh.
gonna bump up the contrast on my phone.
I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that would be some stupid.
that's a real issue. I mean, with a lot of like, what's your stance on that with tattoos?
Oh, with like editing and such.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
I mean, do you go non-filter? Do you just go raw? Or do you like?
You know, honestly, that's a good one. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. Like, I do play with it but not to deceive it to what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know.
Just
so
to
yeah, for like the
fix,
lighting or something like
yeah.
that. You know, like, all right, this.
Because I notice phones sometimes
need to
don't
bump this up a
exactly
little
capture
bit.
exactly how it looks. Sometimes,
Right,
so you have
exactly.
to like bump it up a slight bit in order to make it look a little
Exactly.
bit like the actual photo, or like
Right.
how it looks like to you in real
Exactly.
life.
That's nailed it. That's exactly what I try to do.
But no filters or anything like that.
No, I try not.
I remember my one of my bosses that I used to work for. He would bash on people that would put the black and white filter on because he's like, because he felt that it was deceiving to like show, because that automatically gives so much contrast that you can't really see like the redness or like some of the mistakes that way either.
Mm-hmm.
But I also see some Instagram tattooers, especially if it's all black and gray, they do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Well, and a lot of times it's to get out the irritation marks and all that stuff.
right.
Which
I could see being
Right.
helpful, and especially if you're
To a-
going for like
Right.
a look, a certain
take down
look,
the
like if it's
red
all of
yeah.
a
it.
degree, but like
Yeah.
and this is just me, whatever, you know, no judgments one way or the other, but just for myself, I try not to post any fresh tattoos. Because fresh tattoos are deceiving to begin with, because
Right.
you're seeing the pigment without any like skin over it. Like everything is super rich and super dark. And I mean, the way that I tattoo black and gray, it's always darker than what it's going to be. I try to get healed pictures as much as I can. Sometimes it doesn't work. Like I'll get fresh tattoo pictures
Mm-hmm.
and then say, okay, come back. And if they don't come back, then I'm like, well, this was fresh one or one I just did today. Hopefully get healed ones. If
Yeah,
a
'cause
photo
healed tells
is
a lot.
in my
Mhm.
portfolio,
Mm-hmm.
it's only healed. I only put healed tattoos in my portfolio because, and I mean, I need to go through my feeds and do that stuff on social media, but it's that way it's not deceiving. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is what you will end up with. This is the kind of stuff that I do. This is healed. It's done. I'm not trying to trick you, like, oh, look how fucking black my black is. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the selling mark is for some people, and that's fine, but
Yeah.
I've never wanted to mislead anyone.
Right.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they know who the fuck tattooed them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I also feel like I've been trying to do this new thing because I've been seeing a few other artists do it, that I try to take accountability for them. So I'm always like, first touch-up's free because hell knows I'm kind of horrible with it sometimes, but also like, here's exactly how you do it. Although now I know now that I know how to do the healing technique a bit better now, it's been easier to explain to people. Just knowing how to tell people that, but it's always like different because people are in different situations sometimes,
Right.
and it's
some
like
people are nasty.
some people are nasty.
You know
That
how
too.
they heal their tattoo. You're
Uh-huh.
like, what did you do?
Yeah.
You know.
It's true.
What did
So-
you do?
So I mean that's the other thing. I'd love to see everybody see a tattoo, but at the same time, some people just don't know how to take care. They want to do their own thing.
Yeah,
You know, because they think they know, and
because that's the
you
other
know,
half of it. People are just doing their own thing.
Right.
That was already an hour.
Are we already an hour?
My Instagram kicked off. Yeah. It's 9:30.
Do you want to take a 10-minute break, or do y'all want to keep going?
I mean, we can take a 10-minute break. I jump back up on, so that's fine with me.
Feel left out. I want to be on live Instagram.
Yeah, let's set that up for you, and we'll take a break for now.
My only thing is that I only got a little bit of juice on here.
What kind of plug do you need? Micro USB
Or
or an iPhone?
It's this. It's where they just want to switch things and make things difficult.
What the?
Oh yeah, that's some newer ones. Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just keep? Why don't you keep it the same?
Sig.
We just want to look
Should-
too.
Yeah. She's like, everybody's here. What?
You
Thank you.
guys are taking a break. Come on, pet me.
All right, we're gonna take a break. Time
Paint Night Podcast is about getting to know the artist behind the painting. Our mission is to provide a platform where artists come together to create art and share their stories. Thank you for joining us and supporting the arts.
And we're live again.
Cool.
Again.
Live painting. Oh, yeah.
Here, I'm gonna move yours a little bit,
Yeah, go.
just to match you up a little.
Mhm.
That looks great. That's gonna look cool too. I like how it's in the center of our little tapestry in the back
Mhm.
too.
I like the whole everything. So you guys gotta educate me. Where can I find this podcast? On
It's
YouTube.
just Paint Night Podcast.
Paint
if
Night
you just type it
Podcast.
in, it'll
Yeah,
show up.
on YouTubes.
YouTube.
On the YouTubes.
On the YouTube.
On that technology. Oh, shoot, that was a close call. Oh, shit. Okay.
I got it.
Fucking people, shut up. Sorry, Toby. Don't get mad at me.
Oh, it's not there anymore.
Don't kick me in the balls.
It's been a long time since I kicked anybody in the world.
Time to reminisce.
That is one thing I
Thank
don't
you,
foresee
thank you.
myself bringing back.
Let's see what I did. Signy. It's cold out there.
Oh, yes. You know, I mean, they teased us, too. Like, the weather, that one day.
Yesterday was so
everybody
great.
was blasting on there. They're like, oh, what a beautiful day. It's so
60.
wonderful.
Block
Spring
party.
weather. I was like, watch. It's going to rain and it's just going to bam. And that's what happened, man. It was the biggest tease ever. Biggest tease.
As soon as it started getting windy, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's done.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw it. And it
Winter
was,
has came.
yeah, and it was raining, and then where I was, it was hailing a little bit.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Holy
So
crap.
I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You guys are about to be all disappointed.
Yep.
Yes, we
Vacation
were.
is over.
Right. I mean, everybody was so excited. I thought that was the funniest thing. It's like, oh, man.
But it's like amnesia every year.
Mm.
It's like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, it's winter, man.
That's-
It happens every year. How do you forget that it's winter? You live in Ohio.
right. And usually that's when it kicks in, to be honest with you, with Ohio weather. It's always that in February and January time. That's
Really?
where it really kicks in.
Yeah.
It gets
Here
cold.
lately, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, man, like, we had to wear snowsuits on top of our Halloween costumes, you know?
What? Oh,
Yeah. Brutal cold early. And then, you know, I think right around the time I started driving, I think the weather started, like, switching up. But for me, I was like, whoa, this is weird. Because all I knew was, like, super cold early. But I listened to the old farmers, and they're like, oh, yeah, it was like this, you know, years and years and years ago. All right. It's just, it's constantly changing.
Mhm.
My one friend is like, hurry up and finish. And I'm like, I have been working on this for quite a bit, to be fair.
To be fair, how long? I mean, it's really coming together.
Now it is, yeah. Now it's
looking
kinda going
really
by
finished.
faster.
It looks nice, but it takes time to, like, kind of work out ideas sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So true.
I mean, there's some paintings that you get knocked out in a couple months, and I got paintings that are 2 years old.
Yeah.
you know?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just sitting there, just waiting. Which now I feel kind of guilty right now. Just thinking about it. There you go.
And it's like, to be fair, a couple of those weeks you only worked on it for an hour.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
an
true.
hour a
Because
week,
I've only
like-
been really working on this during paint night. I think it's only been the past week I've been working on it a little bit more, like off cameras.
And that's kind of, I mean, when you tattoo, like, most of your time is spent getting ready to actually tattoo. a lot of people forget about that,
Yeah.
or don't even realize that, you know, our lives aren't all parties. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh fuck, I gotta go home and draw for 5 hours just in preparation for these tattoos that I'm gonna spend, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40 hours on.
You could even be putting the damn stencil on.
Oh, dude, right?
Pisses me off. Like, oh my god, I just want to get, you get all pumped and then it's just frustrating.
Just
it's
like,
not going on.
little bit off.
Right. So it's just a little bit to your right. Just a little. You gotta
And then you
rev it
go
all
way
off.
too over.
Or you're perfect dead set, and then the client, I've had this a few times. The client's like, I don't know, is it? Let's move it just a little bit, and it's like, fuck, all right. So you move it, and then they're like, no, it was better off the first time. You're like, and then you spend like 3 more stencils trying to get it back to the same spot. Fuck.
You think it's a little too big? I was like, oh man.
No, not at all. I don't know. I've had I usually tell people, like, I don't mind the stenciling part. I definitely, like, get frustrated after, like, 10 times or so a little bit. But it's like, I always tell clients, I'm like, please tell me if you want to move it. Like, this part we can do 1,000 times. The tattoos do not come off.
Yep,
I'm like, that part does
exactly.
not come off at all. So
Yeah,
don't feel bad. Just let me know. Like, this is on you forever. It's cool. Just let me know. Like, don't be a dick and, like, not say anything and then get it tattooed and then, like, put a bad review or something and be all salty about it later when it's like, well, you had many chances to speak up. So I try to make it apparent that you need to speak up if you need to speak up.
That's why I don't like drying time, because it gives them time to marinate if they want it there. You know, like, I was thinking.
I also
God damn it.
I don't like drying time just because the stencil stuff stays on so freaking much.
Yeah.
I just need to, like, tattoo it right after. But that's, like, for small tattoos. I could see that being very helpful when you're trying to get, like, very precise and, like, do it for, like, a couple 5 to, like, 6 hours or so. But small tattoos, I'm just like, get off. I can't see if I actually black this in properly or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love using soap and water. There's no dry time.
Yeah.
As soon as the water is off, and I mean, as long as you're not like over soaking it, put it on. It's on. You put a little bit of your ointment over it, just a tiny little bit, and it stays.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Huh.
You know, you just like anything else, a little more strategic with like where you place your hand, but it's on there forever.
Yeah, I started using the, like, green soap or the soap stuff I'm using at that time and just, like, use a little bit of that to stick it on. It's been working fine.
So, I'll tell a horrible story. So I had this one client, and we've all had them, and I'm pretty sure we've all been this client too.
Okay.
So I'm not calling anybody out or anything like that. Just super micromanaging.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was, in our eyes, like as artists, wasn't a hard tattoo. It was pretty straightforward, kind of cartoon, like, I want this, this, and this. I want it cartoony, just, and she was like, I need it exactly this color, I need it exactly like this, you know, just, there was no wiggle room, and I'm, okay, not a problem. So, I know how to trace, that's not an issue.
Right.
You know, so I do the line drawing, she's looking over, she's happy. This has been a long time ago, so she may be dead. Recipes. So we go through and we're sat down, we're starting a tattoo, and the entire time, and it's in a spot where she can see it.
Right.
So the entire time she's like, "Are you gonna do this? You got to make sure that it's gonna be this. Are you sure you're gonna get this right?" And it's like, Yes,
Oh,
just relax, you know, and I'm pretty laid back, pretty easy to get along with. But even this client was testing me, you know, and it gets to the end, the absolute end. I've done everything according to what she has laid out and had, you know, backed up her questions 100 times. She goes to look at it in the mirror, and she's looking at it, and she's looking at it, and she's looking at it.
Wow.
Which is a pure sign that she's going to fire something back with, you know, this or that. And I'm just like, is everything okay? And she turns to me and she goes, I don't know, what do you think?
I hate that kind of question.
And I am one of those guys that sometimes my brain and my mouth shouldn't be wired together so quickly. And I was just like, it's not my best work, but it'll do for you.
Oh.
And she just like jaw dropped, you know, and I was like, oh fuck. And I just started laughing because I couldn't believe what I said. And I was just like, it's a joke, I'm just joking with you. She's like, oh, you're funny.
Oh god.
I'm like, yeah, I'm funny. Motherfucker. But it was like that moment of you've managed or micromanaged this to having no say-so whatsoever.
Right.
And now you ask for my opinion after it's all said and done? Like, fuck, dude, like you missed the boat.
That's a trick question right there. It's like setting you up for
Right.
sure.
But it was, yeah, that's one of my favorite stories to tell. Yeah, I'm a dumbass.
Have you ever had like clients, both of you, like clients that like were straight up just not liking it the whole time, or they'll tell you straight up to your face like in a really rude and weird way?
That they don't like the tattoo?
Yeah.
I usually don't let them get that far. Like if they're, I mean, I'm an old dog. Like I'm gonna, like in my early days, yeah, because I wanted to please and make sure everybody was, you know, so I would jump through all the hoops when I was a young cat. But like now,
Not so
I
much.
can kind of smell that shit coming. So I'm just like, you know, no, like I may not be the artist for you, and that's okay. You should go see this person. You know, and not in like, I'm gonna get you off of my case and pawn you off on somebody else, but
Just not
dude,
for you.
Yeah, our languages didn't mix, or you know, they didn't feel comfortable with me, and that's fine. Like everybody has their clients and their artists, and I'm not meant for everybody.
True. That's true.
But as soon as I figured that out and got over that like insecurity kind of like you got to make sure everybody's happy and you've got to be able to, you know, tattoo everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like life got way easier. I didn't take things to heart so easy or so much.
I used to, I don't know, I worked at like some shady shops, the second and third one a little bit, where they were kind of like, I want to use the word ghetto, but it's not like quite ghetto, you know, like kind of close to it, but I got like weird clients, like the one client that was like obsessed with my feet and would like non-stop trying to reach for it, and I was like, dude, you gotta stop. Exactly my point, yeah. And then I had this one dude that was like a friend of mine from Houston, and I wish I saved the text, but I cleared my phone. But it was just, it got so bad. Like he messaged me on Facebook. He was like, "Hey, we used to be in class together, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Cool." And he was like, "Hey, I think I want to stop by San Marcos, which it's like a 2.5 hour drive." And he's like, "I want to come there and get tattooed by you. Like, I want you to tattoo my hand." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And I should have known the first sign because like he then sent me an image of him holding a bunch of money, like $100 bills, like a bunch of $100 bills, and I'm like, I only need like $150 for like I don't need anything else. And he's like, or he made the motion like, oh, this could be yours, and I was like, no, I I just
What's
need the one
behind
50. Oh yeah.
door number 3?
I know, right? But it wasn't. It got crazier. Like as soon as I told him, I was like, yeah, like message me on, like text me your idea so I can get it down and I can start drawing and we can set up a date and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then I texted him my number and then he started going off in conversation like, oh, let me treat you to dinner, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like equal trade. Like you could just come and I'll tattoo you. Like that's all I want. Like that's all this is. And then he was all like, I'm an adult store owner, and I own like the largest adult store in Houston. And I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. Like you do you, whatever. And then he's all like, I could get you some things from there. I'm like, nah, it's cool. And he's all like, do you want me to tell you how I got this adult store? And I was like, no. But he ended up telling me anyway. He's all like, I think he either said he was in porn and he was known for his dick being so big, so he made a replica of it, and so that's how he started his shop. And I was like, all right, cool, TMI, but all right, sure, whatever. And he's like he's basically trying to show off that he has all this money, and I was like, nah, I'm good. And he's all like, what was it? I was like, this is strictly professional. Like, I'm only going to tattoo you. I'm not going to ask for anything more. I'm not going to, like, get anything else. Like, I'll tattoo you, but that's about it. And then he started talking about things like he's going to burst or whatever from not having sex for so long and all this other shit. And then I was like, this is a little too much. He's like, no, I'm not looking for anything. And then he continued on with, like, weird comments like that. And then what the final kicker was, he sent me the picture of the dildo that he got famous for, and he's all like, "Can I send you a picture of mine so you can compare?" And I was like, "Nope, that's it." And I deleted him off there, and I messaged him on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, like, I can't work on you anymore. This is it. Like, I can't do that anymore." But I got a bunch of weird people during that time with that. And then I was tattooing this veteran that was like, what stripper name should you have? And I was like, this is really inappropriate. And started saying like weird shit like that. And I was like, nope, not about it.
Definitely come across some interesting characters in this business.
Yeah, that's for sure. Fuck. That's why I'm like, I kind of like, if I sense they're a little off and kind of want a little something, like not there for my tattoos, I'm like, I'm great with women. Women are like comfortable around me, so I think that's my perk, because it's like women are more for a little bit like they feel more comfortable around women a bit more, because I feel like, and it's understandable because just what I just said, like with those certain things. And I've definitely, before I got into tattoos, my ex was all like, he's telling me stories about how his ex-girlfriend was getting a tattoo, and that the tattoo artist was like halfway done, and he was all like, you need to have sex with me in order for me to finish this tattoo. And so, yeah, weird shit like that. Yeah. So it's like, it's those weird things.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It blows me away, like the shit that dudes say and do to.
Oh my god,
and think
for
that
real.
They're gonna like get something out of it.
Yeah, the whole time that guy was texting me, I was like, what the fuck do you think is going to come out of this? This is not impressive whatsoever.
Or,
like, do girls fall for this? Do girls, well, I mean, I guess girls fall for the money thing, for sure. I could see that being a thing for sure, but.
When you gotta think, like, guys are creatures of habit.
Okay.
So, like, if something doesn't work, they're not gonna keep doing that. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
So, every time I hear like bad lines or some bullshit like that, I'm like, that has had to work on somebody.
On this one poor soul.
on somebody, because like otherwise they wouldn't use it.
Right.
And I used to hear a few times when I was working in a certain area, like, "Hey girl, you looking for another check?" I'm like, what girl was like, yeah, I want another baby so I can get another check in the mail. I'm like, what line does that work?
And what reality did you live in?
Like, I just want to be like, find that girl that it worked on and just be like, you're better than that. Or go, yeah, I can see why that works. You know, that's fine.
That's true. Everyone's just trying to make it in their own way, I suppose. But it's just like, I don't know.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes fucked up. But I also, yeah, most times it is.
Yeah, people surprise me for sure.
Every
Always
day.
do.
There's always something new. Let's see. That's looking hella cool.
Oh, thank you.
Seeing it clearly now.
Hopefully I don't put it in the closet somewhere, you know?
I'm trying to be a lot better about that. I used to start a lot of projects and just never touch them again. That's why I try to focus on one thing at a time. Because when I get distracted with other paintings and stuff, it's like, yep, that's never going to be done.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the closet for a long time. Or until I black it all out again and use it for something else.
Yeah.
Or white it out, rather, I guess.
Yeah, I've got at least 6 paintings that I have, you know? And I feel
Yeah.
bad, like, every time I start a new one, I'm like, oh, shit. Like,
I'm cheating on you, I'm sorry.
I know. I'm going to treat you different, and then it goes with the other ones. Just, you know.
It won't happen again, baby, I swear.
No, dude, you special. Those my pickup lines right there. You know?
You special, girl.
You special.
You know, that one would work way better than the ones Toby one, you know? The ones
That's
you were
funny.
just saying.
Right.
Oh, you want another check? You looking for another check, girl?
Ugh.
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 I gotta try that out sometime.
Have to
just see
confirm.
what happens.
And then it actually happens. It's like, God damn it! Quit doing this!
Alright.
Then that's where Toby comes in and just like, you're better than this. You don't need to do this anymore. Oh,
In the line games, like the reality, if I heard that, I'd go up and I'd be like, did that work?
Right. Right.
I
No,
got
why
no
did that?
game whatsoever. I'm like, I'm surprised I got laid at all in my life. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
I feel like that's a certain thing too, though. Like when you don't care about it as much, people are drawn to it. Just like if you're quieter in the room, like if you're more mysterious and not trying as hard, people want to get to know. It's true. It's a thing. I swear
know,
to God, it's a
I'm thinking
thing.
to myself, like, that's totally me. Like, I'm the quiet one in the corner, but that never gets me laid, and it's not, like, mysterious. It's not mysterious at all. They're like, that dude's, like, drooling on his shoe over there. Oh, God. He got
Jesus.
gum on his zipper? Oh, that's his nuts. Fuck it. You gotta get out of here.
Ow.
Whew. Oh, my.
There will be, I don't know. I've also found that, like, I've had a shy friend that would get all these, like, really, courageous women,
Yeah.
or, like, very bold women
Yeah.
going after him, like, super bold, like, would just straight up grab his nuts
Yep.
and everything. And, I don't know. I'm baffled by that kind of people, too.
Yeah. Hewers.
True.
Like, oh, I think I seen you at the Jiggle Hut. You work Thursdays down at Crotchtown.
Oh, God.
The Jiggle Hut, that's my favorite place. I know that place.
Used to call it total exposures.
Dingleberries.
Dingleberries. There was an actual shop named Dingleberries, but it was a record store.
No way.
Yeah. It was in
There's a tattoo shop Biz was showing me, and it's like magical fucking unicorns and shit or something like that. And I was like, that's a shop name? He's like, yeah. And he showed it to me. I'm probably murdering it. I can't remember, but it was something ridiculous like that. And I was like, well, all right. That's one way to get people to pay attention to you.
Time's your party.
Yeah, exactly.
Just straight to the point.
That should be a name of a tattoo shop, actually. Yeah.
Like a singles club.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah.
Dicks and asses.
You know people would show up to that, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, George Carlin had a whole line on that once. He's like, you know, there's truth in advertising. It's just like you just name like singles clubs like, you know, the Drunken Slut and shit like that. God, I would probably frequent more places like that.
Right. I heard it's ladies' night on Wednesdays.
Right.
There's definitely like a shock factor that people go after too lately.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's like, yeah, that place it was on Brown Street in Dayton. And they tore it down and built Diamonds for Less.
Nice.
Or at least it was in the same plaza. I don't know why I knew that.
Why do you do that? Tell me more about it.
It all started off with a buddy named Beef and about 8 beers deep into a 6-pack.
That's funny.
You want to drive to Dayton? Sure.
They got little punch cards and everything.
Yeah, frequent flyer.
Yeah. Little cozies and everything.
Spend so much money, you get like your own beer mug at the bar with your name on it. Oh, he's the VIP.
that would be funny.
I think there's
I don't have that picture anymore. Mom's like, do you still have that picture of Boobs McGee?
What?
There's a strip joint that me and my buddy went to all the time.
Called Boobs McGee?
No, that's kind of like, McGee is always like the last name of somebody.
Ah, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I think it was like if you buy a lap dance at a certain time, and they'd have like porn stars that travel and do their little shows or whatever.
Oh,
And then you could get a Polaroid with them. But like wearing a T-shirt that was highly inappropriate for anyone to wear. And in the picture, I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take a lap dance or whatever. That's okay. But, so she's like, here, hold my boobs. I'm like, okay. And I'm just like this skinny, awkward kid, like holding boobs, like, look at these things. Crush them. My God.
Catching them all.
That's fine.
I keep
No
being
wonder
told.
I didn't get laid. Look at this.
All right, 7 years later. Like,
Can you crush cans with these?
That's the thing.
I
I
can-
saw a video
I-
of that,
really?
like women with big boobs.
oh yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
People are into some weird shit.
Oh.
Right.
Shh.
I mean,
I think the lady crushed a watermelon with them too.
Yeah, she just takes it and she
Yeah.
just like, I know.
Just
She like
throwing them
blind her
down.
leg.
I can't remember what TV show it was, but yeah, it was like,
Do it again, baby. Do it again.
that sounds like, yeah, a little too violent for me.
See her when she's mad. Start smashing everything.
Your new flat screen.
Bam!
Can these be considered weapons? Because they should be.
Not the Franklin Mint. Stay away from the curio cabinet.
The bitch is crazy.
Domestic in a grocery store. Holy shit! She's heading for the produce aisle.
I
Need to
want
take her
my
down with a
refund.
taser.
Just break it. What do you mean you're out of watermelons?
No.
I'll show you.
Gonna be out of cantaloupe soon too.
Well, now we have an episode where we've talked about boobs.
There you go.
I'm glad I was part of it. That's cool.
Glad you joined us for that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely in the scrapbook.
Is it-
for
yeah.
sure.
Showing gratitude all around. Oh, yeah.
So what'd you guys talk about? Look.
Well, and that's usually how that goes. I mean, you can get pretty deep in some stuff, but sometimes like
Alright.
talk about groups and
There's spirituality and there's a
and
crushing.
you know, there's sometimes
Yeah.
chicks crushing watermelons with chesticles.
Chesticles. Ugh.
Oh man.
They take a weird turn sometimes.
No, I just got the image now. It's just bam. It's like chesticles. What would that? Oh.
Yeah, the imaging's so bright.
It's like that's what. Oh.
One of my favorite bands, Swinging Utters.
Oh boy.
2 oranges and 2 socks. Sorry. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, that's fine.
Maybe you can edit my voice out of most of this.
I'll just auto-tune it for a second.
God.
Just put on loop. Just. He's not moving his hand. That's so weird.
They've been painting an awful long time. In the same exact place. Oh shit, that was a lot of water. Ah!
Is that your parrot voice?
Yeah.
That's a lot of water.
That was my mid-freak out parrot voice for sure.
That's fine. That's fine.
Shit, there's a hair stuck in there. Right there. But
You ever have those? When you look at paint, you get all done, and you notice that like a little hair got stuck in your side of your painting.
All
You're like,
the
Dude,
time.
I've got
you
paintings.
pick it, and it's just got that.
that
line.
uneven. It's like all white, and it's like, God damn it.
Yeah, there's some paintings that are just completely covered. I'm just like, I can't even sell this thing. You just missed the discussion about ladies crushing cans and watermelons with boobs. Like, last week she was the one that was talking about, she's like, I'm off like a prom dress. I'm like, alright, later.
I love that. I feel like I love acrylic because it does dry fast, but I also hate acrylic because it does dry fast for like
yeah.
blending and stuff.
I always like to water it down a whole bunch when I put it on.
Yeah.
Grass tastes bad.
I'm totally an adult.
I swear.
It's like, I didn't know your comments. I mean, your comments can be visual like that.
Yeah.
Audio like that.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. It's not looking too shabby. I feel like I always underestimate how long it takes me to paint for sure. Every time. Then the times I don't even put a date on it, it's like, oh yeah, done. 3 days. Cool.
What's that tell you?
Hey, stop planning.
Putting dates, yeah. Get done when it needs to get done. I feel like every painting, even if it's just studies or messing around, it always teaches me something,
Mm-hmm.
if not a few things.
Well, it's all experiments. We're like scientists gone mad. But
Sometimes those lessons, they take a while to learn.
I usually do experiments in my, I'd say sketchbook.
mm-hmm.
That's for a lot of things. And sometimes I get mad because I like it so much and I can't duplicate it.
Yeah.
Right?
Why can't you not like my sketchbook?
I've definitely, when I used to do comic and anime conventions, I would actually scan in my sketchbook drawings because I did this whole 2 years of just using nothing but pen on sketchbook, so that way it's like an added like challenge of trying to like keep in mind or make it look good or like go with your mistakes kind of deal. But some of them actually turned out really good, and I would print them out and people really liked them.
You know, that's kind of like a new thing for me where I take some of my drawings from the sketchbooks and I go to Kinko's and print them off on the projectors.
Yeah.
And then you just project it on your canvas. I'm like, sweet, so you don't have to like stress about duplicating it, you know?
Fuck yeah, that's a good way of doing it. I know that, I'm just telling what Toby does, but I've seen him like draw super small, so that way you can like,
Thumbnail.
yeah, the
Mhm.
thumbnail to make sure it looks good overall, like from a distance, and then just upscale it and put more details into it.
Mm.
I've definitely used my,
Saves time on the design part, because if it works small,
yeah.
it's gonna work big.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've used there was an art teacher that was teaching us like, yeah, use a projector if you need to, like get everything that you need to do to lay it out. and I had this mini projector I hooked up to my computer, so I can like put up whatever image and draw realistically that way, and just kind of be able to mark the shapes and everything correctly, and then get started on the painting. And he's like, I don't know, but I definitely need to try that with. I know I want to try that with this jellyfish lady I got back here. I need to redraw the whole thing.
That's cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, do you? I know he usually works pretty decent size, like that size. Do you work big like that all the time?
I've only gotten back into painting this year. This year. That would be impressive if I painted all the other paintings this year. But it's last year. I've been kind of like getting back into it. Because I've been drawing a lot more, so I've been trying to paint a lot more too. But yeah, I have a few. Yeah, because I think. Do I have a smaller one? I think the smallest I've done this year is like maybe like this, but it's like watercolors.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier and less of like filling in the space, more just trying to fill it in enough to where I don't damage the paper, but it looks good and it's still fine. But with acrylics and stuff, I've been using pretty much this size and up. I have this big square one of this lady with her head kind of popping out of the water, and there's like the sun setting over her head, and she has this weird magic swirly cone like on the bottom of her, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then I have, what's the other painting? Oh, and then I have one about this, no, a little bit bigger, but there's like two heads that look like nerve endings at the end, and they're like about a kiss, but it's like, it's supposed to be thorns, but it like branches out, and it looks like it's just the two heads about to kiss, and it's like blues, reds, and whites, and a dark background, because I got a black canvas for that one.
Okay.
To like try to do that, and then I got frustrated because the black canvas was matte, and then I would like try to fix it with black, and then the shininess would show up, so I had to like prime the whole thing. But even that, it's like, ugh. But eventually I would love to start doing like live painting, but I need to get a lot faster. Or at least I need to get a little more loose with it, I suppose. Or have a better idea. Yeah, just, I think the more I'm doing it, the more I'll get accustomed to.
Yeah, live can mess you up sometimes.
Think
That's
so?
for sure. Yeah, because sometimes
there's a lot of anxiety involved.
yeah, there's anxiety,
Yeah.
and at the same time, like sometimes you just need to be in the right space, and when you're having everybody feeling everybody else, and just I get distracted really easily too. So,
True.
yeah, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to do that sometimes. I think it's always good to bring something that's already started, so you already
Yeah.
know exactly what you're executing. You know.
Like get a good general idea,
Yeah, or
and
you
the
already have like
gist of it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is going in and building
Adding
it up, you know.
details.
Yeah.
That's
Versus
a good
trying to,
idea.
you know, because it used to, like when I first started doing it, used to stress me out a little bit. I'm like, oh God, I gotta hurry so they can see what the fuck it is, you
Yeah.
know. So.
Yeah, I did it once, and I was able to get at least the outline in there, and people would always stop by and see what it is. I used to, when I was younger, I don't know if you guys had this, but when people would, like, look over my shoulder and see what I was working on, I would get so anxious, I wouldn't even acknowledge them. I would be, like, drawing like this, and I would just stop, and I could, like, feel them behind me. And wouldn't say anything to them, but I would just stop until they, like, left, and I didn't acknowledge them, because I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
You're in the wrong business.
No. Now it's not a problem at all. I think the comic conventions and trying to like get them quick, like doing commissions for people and trying to get them quickly out there. Because I used to do little chibi people, like the little big heads and small bodies, and I still do every now and then. But I used to do like commissions for people, and people would like to watch. And we actually had the system where I would work from my tablet on the computer laptop in front of me. But then we hooked up the monitor to it so people could see what I was drawing on the computer. And people love that. People love coming by the booth and seeing like me work live on the digital computer, and they'll just like sit and watch there. And then at the same time, I would like record time lapses of it, so that way when I'm away, people can watch the time lapse of like things I've drawn before of people.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. So like I think that actually helped me out a lot, because at first I was I was a very, very shy person and did not want to deal with anyone. And then I started doing that, and that kind of got me out of my shell more and more comfortable with drawing in front of people. And in fact, I encourage it now, because I think people are really amazed by that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think sometimes too, like with people, I feel like I have acknowledged people. So when you're in the zone and all of a sudden you feel like somebody's there,
Right.
you feel like you gotta like stop and turn around, you just stop and step out of your zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of hard to jump back into what you were doing.
For sure.
So,
I could see that.
But the more you do it,
More comfortable.
the easier it is.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to, like, the live things I would love to do is, like, at EDM shows and stuff. I feel like listening to that kind of, like, that music puts me in a certain headspace where I'm just, like, zoning the whole time and, like, dancing while I'm painting and, like, doing all these things. And then, it, like, I don't know. I would love to start doing that eventually. But, I think it's neat. And plus, I think people really like seeing the behind the scenes of things. Like, because we all see the finished painting of everything and we think it's really cool. But it's even cooler when you're seeing the in process of it, because you can see what this person is capable of, but also see the behind the scenes and how it's done, because it never is like, bam, great painting. It's
Right.
always like there's a whole process
Yeah.
behind it, and it's
Oh.
going to be messy, and it doesn't make sense until probably 80% through, and then it's like, oh, that's a face.
Yeah.
So,
And that's kind of what we're doing here.
yeah, basically.
It inspires people, that's for sure. I mean, that's what got me into everything. I mean, tattooing and everything. Because I saw people painting live, and I was like,
Mhm.
holy shit, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Or you see what kind of, like, I used to sneak and look at what's in their, toolbox.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
what the hell? Oh.
How are you doing that?
Like, oh. Like, what the fuck is that?
Ooh. I know that's how I learned, because I used to watch speed painting videos of, like, digital illustrations when I was younger. And I've always wanted to do that. Like, I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And I would pick up, like, I would always make sure they're showing their full screen, not just showing, like, what they're drawing, but showing the tools and stuff that they're using, and just kind of pick out things that they're doing with the layers and, like, the certain tools they would use on Photoshop and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I learned it a bit.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely do the whole pause and try to zoom in.
Yep.
You know?
All that stuff. But now it's like, you can basically be like, Google, how do you do XYZ?
Oh,
and it
yeah.
will tell you.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to really dig, because you have
Mhm.
to listen to this fucking videos, are like they have the answer, but you have to listen through all the bullshit, Like,
Yeah.
get to the good part. Just
Just
stop.
tell me how to do this.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm
Yeah,
like, "God
that
damn
part
it."
is kind of annoying.
It's like, just fucking tell me.
I know when I was, I know Toby's going away for 2 weeks, right? And so we're going to try out this thing where we're going to do we're going to do our Instagram separately like we normally do, but we are going to use Skype
Oh.
on the iPad to show what we're doing, but also transfer it back to the computer here. And so I'm really excited about starting that. But the whole time it's like we're trying to figure out how to start the NDI setting, because I don't know what it stands for the life of me. But it's like I was trying to figure out how to do all that, especially with Macs. It's like Macs and fucking Windows. Why can't all consoles just get along and just be nice to each other when it comes to all that? Because not everyone owns like an all Mac systems or they're all Apple systems or all Windows systems. So it's very
They want you
frustrating
to.
otherwise.
Right.
And that's why it is.
I know, it's frustrating. But that's why I like Windows a little more. I think it's a little more friendlier when it comes to that. Apple's a little bit stingy with their products, I've come to see.
I prefer Android or Windows systems. It just, my brain
Works better.
functions
Yeah.
with that. You know what I mean?
I like the simplicity. I'm both. I love Apple just because it's straight to the point. You know, you click. You know, you don't have any options. You know, that kind of stuff. But then at the same time, when you do need those options, you're like, why can't you just fucking do that?
And see, it's weird because like I didn't use Apple for ever really, and then everybody's like, "You'll love it. It's so simple. It's so user friendly." And I'm like,
Right.
"Dude, I get on there and I'm like, oh, how the fuck do you close? Like, I don't understand any of this."
Especially switching from one to the other. It definitely takes like a week or two in order to readjust to all the settings to it.
Nah, it took me a month because like the first time I was like, nope, and I just threw the fucking Apple in the fucking closet. I was like, nah, I'm not. No, I just wasted my money.
Yep.
I was like, shit, I have to use that thing.
Now, do you guys use your iPads for drawing a lot then?
I do, yeah.
For
Yeah,
what?
she does
For
a
you,
lot.
for drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to. It's nice just because it's like there's an undo button first off, and it's like I've been drawing on paper for the past year and a half or so, which is great because I needed to come back to the foundation of it for sure. But I wasted so much paper. Like, I always feel really bad, and it's always like I have this perfect outline for it, and then I will mess up one little thing, and it's like, nope, got to do this whole thing all over again.
Yeah.
And I think, especially when it comes to tattoos, it's like I want to be faster and get the best idea out there as fast as I can. But I'm also trying to figure out how to make sure I'm also learning artistic wise. And Toby brought up a good point of like even when it's digital, trying not to trace as much on like lower the opacity a little bit to draw on top of it, but rather like maybe put it to the side and try to mimic it a bit, and then see if you can draw it from looking at it rather than tracing at it. Does that make sense? I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I explained that
No.
if that made any sense to anybody, but
Yeah, instead of, because it's just
it's an
really
observation
easy.
drawing.
It's really easy to just trace and I mean that's
And I see
that's
a lot
part
of
our
tattooers
jobs.
do that, for
That's-
sure.
That's part of our jobs. We have to trace, like, and there's no shame in it. But if you want to get better as an artist, you're gonna have to like learn to use your eyes and make those shapes without just going just trace over.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when you're left on your own devices going, okay, well, draw me a bird, and you're like, fuck, I don't know, because your brain's not processing. It's like when we drive with, say, MapQuest or whatever that shit is. I don't pay attention at all. I just listen to the directions where it's like, the fucking bitch on my phone tells me to turn left. You know what I mean? I don't care, whatever. But you know what I mean, like. They say left here, and I'm not paying attention where I'm at. Now, back in the day, it's like I gotta find this out on a map. So it's like, okay, it's gonna be St. Clair Street, and I gotta take a left there, and then I'm gonna be looking for Oakwood, you know, and it would stick in my brain because I had to think about
you
it.
can go
I
back.
had to think about it.
Right.
Now it's just like, the weird voice that I changed to sound like Captain Picard, you know, is telling me to take a left at the Mexican barbecue, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Which is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, we don't memorize
Some
anything
people might
anymore.
get that one.
It's also, it's just really nice to have as a tool though, especially like with tattoos where it's like we want to do as many as possible, like I was saying, like the trying to get the best possible outcome in like the less time and not wasting so much paper too, because I am god awful with it. But it's good to come back to like that's why I want to keep doing traditional stuff like on the side, like painting. I think it's a good help with that. And then I need to sketch more in my sketchbook and bring it around again. But yeah.
Well, and it's a tool just like everything else. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I'm anti-technology, but it's great because I can draw something super quick on top of the client's arm or picture that I take,
Mm-hmm.
and they get to see exactly where I'm thinking, and if that's not where they want, I
you're
can
right
move it
about that.
around, I can change opacity, you do all these things and give them so many more options and kind of explain, this won't cover up the other thing because look, you know, and
visually,
and then they can see it, because a lot of times I forget a lot of people can't see things in their heads.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's something that I take for granted, and I know a lot of other people do.
Mm-hmm.
So
And people change their mind a lot. So that's always hella helpful when
Yeah.
you can change it without being like, God damn it, I have to draw this whole thing again.
Mm-hmm.
Although I know there's ways where, like, I know a friend back home that would, like,
They
print it out and, like, have different, like, printouts of everything and, like,
real
scan it in, like, cut it, fix it, and then scan it in all together. Like, fix whatever needs to be fixed and then scan it and print that out with the fixed cut area, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they would really be crafty with it, but it's just like, I need to draw the whole thing if I'm doing it by pencil, or pen rather.
Yeah, I think because I love the iPad,
Yeah?
my biggest thing is just the sketching.
Yeah.
Like if I'm inking something, I fucking love the fucking iPad.
Yeah.
It's fucking perfect, crisp line, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But when I'm trying to come up with a concept or something like that, sometimes I struggle because I just love that, I don't know, that friction of the paper and pencil, you know? And I just can't organically get it out, you know?
Right.
It's just like, I just can't sketch like I sketch in a sketchbook.
It feels weird. I almost want to. There's a couple people that said that there's like a cover that you put
Oh, really?
on the glass.
Yeah.
It's like a screen protector,
Yeah.
but it has like a tooth to it, so it feels like paper,
Ooh.
which
I've never heard
would
of that.
be
Right,
perfect.
right.
You know, it's
That
just
does
like a
sound
little
nice.
bit thicker or heavier.
I wonder if that makes you draw a little bit better because it's a little more natural feeling.
Well, it has a little bit of like a grab to it, so it's
Yeah.
not like. That's one thing that I've noticed.
remember you
Like I go
talking
to
about
like
that, yeah.
make a line and it's just too slick, and I can never get like a crisp line. It always feels wavy or something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
It takes me forever to get like a nice clean line.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was a tooth, I could.
Definitely.
I guess it just feels right for me.
Well, I've also, like, I've gone from drawing on, like, a tablet that has no screen on it
Yes,
and, like,
I'm
looking
an
up
old
and
user.
drawing on the computer. And that took me freaking, like, a year to get used to. Just not looking down and drawing while looking up at the screen.
Oh yeah, I remember when those came out. I fucked around with that for a little while. It was neat once you got the hang of
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
but the iPads now, like actually drawing right on it, or the Wacom tablets
Oh,
or Wacom or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, when those came out, I was frothing at the mouth.
Right. Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, $2,000. That.
Those
that-
Cintiqs, man. Those
Yeah.
things
Oh,
are
yeah.
But like the 20-inch ones,
They're
like when they
so
first came out, I was
great.
like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like it reminded me of
still
the
my
first
dream.
art kit that you know seen as a kid. I was like, oh, I want that. It has all the colors,
Yeah.
you know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But like iPads are fucking amazing.
Yeah, I remember I was around the Austin area, and when I worked at the school for the recreation center, I was a graphic designer, and they're like, they would
Yeah.
take trips sometimes, so we took a trip to Apple, and the Apple headquarters down in Austin, and there's this lady there, and it was just right when the Apple Pencil was coming out, and she was
Second
curious.
hour done.
Are we? Shit.
Well, at least.
Oh yeah, I have 28 seconds remaining. But she showed me the iPencil on this large iPad, like the largest iPad I've ever seen in my life, and it was just so fascinating. I'm still fascinated with this one I got. Like, it picks up a lot faster because I got one of those, like, I was gonna say Chinese and I might be wrong. It's called Q1. It's like a ripoff off of Cintiq, or off the Wacom tablets, but
Mhm.
God, that thing lagged so much. It was hard to work with, and it would also like not pick up every other time you put down the pen on it, so it was like very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started seeing everyone getting the iPads and stuff, it's like, damn, that's really cool. Although I did draw my Galaxy Note 5 for a good while for tattoos and stencils and stuff, because I could take the picture with my phone and then just draw on my phone.
Right.
And that was hella helpful. I remember everyone made fun of me for that, and now everyone does it, and I'm like, fuck y'all.
See, I thought
bitches.
when that
I know.
first came out, I thought that would be a great idea, and then the iPad came out. Because actually, when what were those Palm Pilots? Because they had the little. They looked like
stylus.
a calculator, but they
Yeah.
had a stylus, and you
Yeah.
could draw
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could draw on that. I almost did it, but I was like, fuck it. Like, I got paper, it's fine.
The pen pressure is what I need
Yeah.
in my life when it comes to like tablets and stuff. And actually, you know, the only person I know that doesn't really Dan Mattingly, I saw him drawing on his iPad. He doesn't have pen pressure at all. He uses like one of those stylus that like comes at the end of like a pen and stuff, and he would just outline easily and make these beautiful tattoos with like, I don't know. I'm always like,
Goes to show
I need that
it's
point.
not exactly
How you do it.
what you have, it's how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's amazing artists that are imprisoned, and they
Yeah.
have nothing, and they make beautiful art.
That's
It's just
true.
time and knowing what you have.
That's very true. Well, it is 10:46. Should we?
Want to put a plug in this one?
Yeah, I'm down. I think we've gone a good amount. Do y'all have any closing remarks? Do you have anything
Yeah.
to say to the peeps that watch this video?
Say
Go
to
check
both
you
of you guys, appreciate you guys letting me join tonight for sure.
Of course.
Fun.
Thanks for coming out, man.
Absolutely.
Blast.
And I guess just where can I find it again?
On YouTube at Paint Night Podcast.
Ah, dog.
Signe.
She's like, it's time to
Get
shut
out.
it
She's
down.
like,
It's time to shut
she's
it down.
like, come on, Dad.
I know. It's done. It's time.
But definitely follow us at Paint Night Podcast on Instagram. Follow Roa at Roa
Space tattoos.
_tattoo on Instagram. Ali Morgainne at Starchild
Morgainne.
Instagram. Paint Night Podcast on
All the stuff.
YouTubes and all the things. And thanks for watching and putting up with us. And
It was a good one.
Yeah.
like and subscribe, comment, and yeah,
Much love.
thanks.
Much love.
All the love.
Bye.